This was supposed to be a fun camping trip, but now we're broken up.
Aw. Sounds like a bad camping trip.
Right? I, 25 male, have been seeing this girl, N, 26 female, for a few months. We started soon after I moved to the country. On Friday, she told me that she was going camping and invited me along. Since it was last minute, she had already packed and I just had to grab my stuff and jump on the train to meet her, which I did. By the way, this comes from Fubar11011 on the Am I Wrong subreddit. So Friday was good fun. We were listening to music and chatting about stuff on the drive. She had been asking me to think about cutting down on my devil's lettuce use. I have a prescription for sleep and anxiety. Also keen for me to get up early with her to do activities since I am usually more of a night owl. I agreed to this and used significantly less of the devil's lettuce than usual on Friday and went to bed early. I woke up with her around 5:30 that morning and we started the day with yoga, relaxing and chatting. She offered to make me breakfast and I happily accepted. I went off to the loo about 8:15 in the morning, but was having some difficulties and ended up being in there for half an hour. That's unfortunate.
I feel like I haven't absorbed any of this.
What are you talking, dude?
No, I'm listening to it, but he's like, and I went to the bathroom. I was using the devil's lettuce, and then I wasn't using it, and then I went to the bathroom, and I was there for quite a while.
That's fair. I think we haven't entered full ramble territory yet, but we're flirting with it. We're flirting with it. Oh God, gooning it. So when I got back, Nancy had packed up everything and seemed cross. Now we're getting into it.
Here we go. Just plot lines.
Plot lines. She said that she had been waiting for me and had been wanting to go out paddleboarding. I said sorry and explained that while it took a while to crap and said that I understood that she felt like I had disrespected her time.
I'm like, sorry, I was having IBS problems. I didn't know that would disrespect your time.
It happens. It happens, ladies and gentlemen.
It happens, okay, guys? Let's put some respect on his name.
Apparently.
Oh my gosh. Are you okay?
What happened?
I just heard you swallow that.
It was like that dog in Howl's Moving Castle, and he's like, you know.
I literally.
He just inhaled.
No. I don't know what just happened. It was like air just went whoop, whoop, whoop. Completely. I didn't do anything. I was just like,
that was scary.
But I'm completely fine.
John almost died.
I'm alive. I'm alive. We're going to keep reading. Listen how great my voice is. So not dead. So apparently. Oh, right.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at the
True. You're okay. That's good to know. Apparently, I didn't reassure her in the right tone, and she told me to F off. Ouchie. I said I didn't feel like I deserved to be told to F off. And she said it again. I then started making a CBD vape because I could feel myself getting aggravated. She asked why I was having it, and I said because I don't give a crap. Like the one I just dropped in the potty.
I don't give a crap. I drop them.
Nice one, Sophia. She said, thank you for giving me the closure that I needed. I said, sorry, I do give a crap. I just want to calm down. What is happening? Well, after this, we finished packing the car. She locked it, walked off with her paddleboard and hammock, looking mad and not saying anything to me. I followed her to the lake with my backpack and was trying to ask if I could go paddleboarding with her. She wasn't really saying anything, and when we got to the lake, it was pretty choppy water. She then said she was annoyed because when she had come there earlier, it would have been more calm. This is just... she put up her hammock and it was blowing in the wind quite a bit. In hindsight, I probably should have recognized this danger more. Put an ICU in the comments if you see what's about to happen. But I've only been in a hammock a few times, whereas it's something Nancy loves, so I assumed that she didn't need or want my advice. It felt like she was pissed about the paddleboarding and me having a vape, and I didn't know what to do or say. I had put my bag next to her hammock and it had my phone in it. Note that we live in a generally very safe country, and I was getting very poor reception in most places in the campground, so I wasn't really using it or thinking about it at all. I walked down a path to go look at some boats, which I did, and then I saw another beautiful path where I decided to continue on for a bit. I didn't say anything before I left, which was bad. More ICUs. But also, she was literally telling me to F off about 10 times that morning. So it seems OP might indeed be effing off. Foreshadowing. In my head, I was getting some space and time to process. I walked around the path for maybe 20 minutes and then I came back. I was feeling much happier and I wanted to try and just move past stuff and enjoy the weekend. It's going to work out perfectly,
I
Sophia.
think everything's going to be fine. I think Nancy's going to be like, oh, I'm so glad that you had your moment alone without
Yes.
telling me.
Yes.
And now let's go paddleboarding.
Let's go paddleboarding. I've not just calmed the waves, I've calmed my soul
The
as well.
waters of my heart
It's going to be
are
so
calm
great.
as well.
It's smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing.
When I got back, Nancy was lying chest down on top of her paddleboard.
Did she pass away?
I don't know. I don't know if that's like on the ground or in the water. I thought she was just chilling at first. So I sat on the paddleboard and tried to talk to her. It became clear pretty much immediately that something was wrong. And I went over to her and she said she had fallen out of her hammock and that I had seen it. I was really, really concerned because she said she had fallen on her head and neck and was also confused and didn't know what to say about the accusation. So I guess she's just like in the water or on
the paddle
on the
paddle boat
ground,
because they
maybe?
don't.
I think she's on the ground.
Yes, I fell out on my paddleboard on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm picturing this.
Hammock.
Yep.
Hammock.
Yes,
Paddleboard. She's in hammock. Floop,
that's what I see
and
too.
then she just stays there for 20 minutes.
Great visual representation without using non-visual humor.
But that doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Have you ever been in a hammock?
Yeah.
It's hard to fall out of it.
Not really.
Well, it sounds like
It's kind of, I mean, like, once you're in the hammock,
maybe
Pretty-
like
pretty-
a nylon camping hammock.
but like
Oh.
getting into a hammock,
Okay,
pretty
I
easy to
could see
fall
that.
out.
I could see that.
The
Because I'm like,
threat-
if you're in the hammock, no matter how much wind blows, if you're in the middle, like
no.
if you're in the middle of it, you're not going anywhere.
But I feel like she was trying to get like one of those hammocks that's like hard, like there's hammocks that are hard to get into.
Yeah, the ropey ones are a lot more challenging, but the nylon ones, like camping ones,
yeah.
those are, anyways. I didn't see anything or hear anything. I don't know why or what exactly happened. I walked away while she was looking at getting in the hammock, so I guess it did happen soon after I walked away. So it's like, hey, I literally fell out of the hammock and you just moseyed on down and had a nice little walk.
Yeah.
Nice little reflection time.
And then she literally stayed.
And she's like,
she just stayed there. She was like, "Get back. He's gonna be. He's gonna be so sorry."
you abandoned me and I'm stuck on the board. Why did you abandon me? You said,
Out of
ha
my
ha.
misery.
Well, I have mild to moderate hearing loss, hearing aids, which I wear to work, but not usually while camping. We were in a fairly thick bush, and there was a bunch of campsites quite close by which I hadn't heard her call out. I had also gotten her messages asking for help about a half hour later, calling me a sociopath. Yeah, if she was blowing up at him for taking a crap too long, she is going to eviscerate him for this.
Oh, boy, big time.
I tried to say these things, but was mostly just trying to figure out how she was injured and what to do. She had fallen straight on her neck, and I was terrified at the possibility she had broken her neck. I tried to tell her not to move as much as possible. She said because she had crawled over that her neck wasn't broken, that she would have stopped moving instantly. I was trying to say that we needed to call an ambulance just to be safe because I wasn't a medical expert. My understanding is that it's possible to break the spinal vertebrae without damaging the nervous system, and that you become paralyzed if the unprotected nervous system is damaged. Is that true, chat? Is that true, comments?
Dang.
true?
Oh, he's a doctor.
Also, read this.
She 100% staged the fall, says Ray Ray.
I agree with that. That's my conspiracy theory. We're doing a poll.
I don't know if I think that she just fell, and I think she like dramatized it.
I think she fell and dramatized it, and that this is a perfect storm scenario to where she can like super overly react.
Yeah,
and
and blame
OP
it on
does
him.
have reasonable alibis as to why he didn't hear, why he walked away, his phone didn't go off, but she's gonna use it to just
Crank it up a notch.
turn it. Well, which can happen immediately with a break, but doesn't always. She was acknowledging that she needed to go to the hospital, but wanted someone to just take her because she was worried about the cost of the ambulance due to her visa in a country with public health care, but don't know exactly how it works with her visa. Okay, so it's like, yeah, she might get charged possibly. She said she thought this would cost about $6,000, and that was a big chunk of her savings, and that she felt like her neck was fine because she had been able to crawl to the board.
Okay, if she's crawling, that's kind of an issue.
Seems
She should go to the
like
hospital.
seems like an issue.
Well,
Well,
Chat says 100% faked it.
While the money sucks, everything I've ever heard about this situation would be to call an ambulance, and I tried to explain that, but she said she wouldn't talk to me ever again if I did.
What the heck?
What's that? I can't even say it.
Either she just tries to make an issue out of everything, or she's not actually hurt, and she's like, "Don't call an ambulance because I'm not actually hurt, but I'm gonna fake this, and I'm gonna,
I think it's
you
fake.
know."
I think she's using everything to her
I'm gonna milk
advantage
it.
to continue to escalate the tension.
Mhm.
I feel like, and make him the bad guy.
And I was gonna say the 3 Ds of medical lingo that's been free. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
Yeah, but I don't want to get arrested, so I'm not gonna say it.
you know what he's talking about?
Nah.
It's the 3Ds that certain big healthcare companies use to not let people get there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
do know what we're talking
They're
about.
like, no healthcare
Mhm.
for you.
Yeah, that's what she's afraid of.
Somebody call Luigi. I still feel like I should call the ambulance, but said that I would run and get help to get a second opinion. I ran around a campsite and saw some friendly looking people around our age. I ran over to them and tried to explain as best I could, and 2 of them, a man and a woman, came with me. The girl went off to find the park ranger, and the dude seemed to know first aid and was checking things and understanding what had happened. He asked me to gently touch her heels and see if she could tell which side. She could, and put a towel over her so she wouldn't get sunburned. So they covered her up, and yeah. To me, I'm like, if you can't get up, it's a problem.
Yeah. If you literally can't, like, who cares if you crawled over? If you had to crawl, you should probably go to the hospital.
Michelle Evelyn says it's 109% fake. If she was actually her, I don't think she would be as stingy.
Yeah. Like, what's he supposed to do? She's yelling at him for not doing anything, and then he's like, okay, let's do something. And she's like, no.
I'll never
I'll
talk
break
to
up
you
with
again.
you if you do.
And she's just like crawling around on the ground.
Yeah.
I do have an okay story time about ambulances after this. That
Oh,
happened
boy.
over Christmas break.
Whoa.
Oh. And
Whoa.
also, it's gonna hurt whenever this is actually true, and we're making fun of her for faking it.
Right? Are you ready, Sophia? They're like, ooh, she was right. She couldn't. Mm-mm-mm.
Dang.
That's what we're going to say to you in comments. They're going to be like, mm-mm-mm, Sophia. Mm-mm-mm.
Well, everyone was with me,
Oh.
so you're all coming down too.
So I was happy they were there to help and advise. The dude was saying that because we weren't experts, he also felt like she needed an ambulance. And when the girl and the ranger got back, they were saying the same thing. At this point, I called the ambulance. The reception was atrocious and they weren't hearing 90% of the things I was saying. I was rushing around trying to find better perception, trying to communicate exactly what happened, and trying to figure out exactly how to give directions to a rural spot, and also trying to relay instructions to everyone else. OP's running ragged. Ambulance said they would send someone immediately and asked if it was easy to find in the campground. I wasn't really sure, and the girl and the ranger said someone should go to the corner to wait and encouraging me to go. This was, in hindsight, I feel like she's not going to like this. I feel like she's going to hate me. Why did you abandon me?
The ranger told him to go. If
Right?
a ranger tells me to do something, I'm doing it.
If he told you to jump off a bridge and break your spine so you could barely crawl, would you do it?
The ranger's telling me to do it.
That's what he said. Obviously, I should have stayed with Nancy, but I was just trying to get her the proper medical help ASAP at the time. I asked Nancy where the keys were, and she said she didn't want me to drive her car. I said that to the ranger, who asked if I was a bad driver. I said, I thought I was a good driver. I am a good driver. Nancy has never seen me drive before due to roadside substance testing laws in our country, which can detect positive because of the devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce.
Right, which can detect positive days after you use it, and no exception for medical patients like me. I had a small vapey around 3 hours prior, but I also have a high tolerance, didn't feel much from the first vapey in the first place, and it felt completely sober at that point. So I took Nancy's car and said that I was going to drive to the corner and should be back soon, again, to kind of wave down the ambulance. In hindsight, I shouldn't have left her there, but she was so angry with me. I thought she might be happier around other people, felt like I was leaving her with 3 safe and trustworthy people, and also the ranger was saying they'd probably be less than 20 minutes away. So I drove down the road and was waiting there for about 45 minutes, freaking out about what to do, if I should stay and wait or go back to see Nancy. And you know, those 45 minutes feel like that's an eternity. When you
hours.
feel like you know Nancy's just like
Fuming.
boiling with rage, sunburnt under her towel, and starting to panic about not being there, but also worried that if I left, the ambulance wouldn't know where to go. I was also getting basically no reception on the road, so I couldn't call anyone. God. I eventually decided to try and call the ambulance again. Reception was so poor, we needed to communicate with button presses of 0 for yes,
Whoa.
0 for no. That's a smart idea though, I guess, but that's terrible. I drove back into the campsite and managed to communicate more and got a better idea of when they were coming. morning, I went back to Nancy and the ranger, and only the ranger was left at this point.
But okay, kind of crazy that the ranger doesn't have some sort of like radio to call for like, because this is, I mean, I feel like that's what a ranger's supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what he's there for.
That's literally his whole thing, is like to make sure that people are okay. He should totally be going and getting that ambulance.
He's like, hey, you random civilian, go flag down the ambulance.
That's crazy. That's his job.
I guess so, right? Maybe they don't have as good infrastructure.
Rangers? Yeah, maybe the Rangers suck.
Maybe the Rangers are trash. But Opie says soon after, some other Rangers arrived, and he sent them to the roads this time. See, at least now the other Rangers are doing that.
I guess so.
I was sitting next to Nancy trying to reassure her and also chat to the ranger. After a bit, the paramedics finally arrived. They listened to what had happened and talked to Nancy. They checked her neck and determined it wasn't broken.
Amazing.
We're safe for that so far. They sat her up. They gave her some basic pain relief and asked her pain level, which she said was a 7 out of 10. They said that she had a concussion and gave an information sheet on how to handle that. So see?
Dang it.
The medical professional said she has a concussion.
She didn't break her neck though. So
but she's got a concussion and an alleged 7 out of 10 pain.
Yeah.
Chat, comments, go attack. Sophia, you see her?
Got me.
Go attack her. Riley, right there, go attack her.
I was wrong.
Yeah, that's right. I kind of stayed out of it, so don't attack me.
He was thinking what we were thinking.
You thought the same, you liar.
I didn't say nothing. So they asked some other questions, and they said that they would take her to the hospital. She didn't say anything for a bit, and I said that I thought that she might be worried about the cost because of her visa. They said they didn't know about that, but would be happy for her to stay there with someone who could look out for her for the next 24 hours and then drive her to the hospital if needed, which she agreed to. So we haven't even incurred the cost of the ambulance, it seems.
Yeah, the ranger who could have been doing all of this from the first place finally gonna drive her to the hospital.
Maybe stupid.
I will say, I mean, I guess it does make sense if they thought her neck was broken to like not want to move
He
her.
doesn't have I would imagine, the medical training necessary that they did. But after they left, she admitted that she was worse than she had told them. Why?
Oh, gritty.
She said she felt nauseous, something it said on the information form that she should immediately go to the hospital for. She expressed that she didn't really feel like doctors could help her, and that the only thing that would make her feel better was staying in nature at the campsite.
She was like, I have to go paddleboarding.
Some yoga.
Some yoga will
in
help
the
my
trees.
concussion.
That heals concussions. That's what I hear.
That's what I've heard too.
CTE?
Yeah.
Stay with the tree.
That they actually have this new thing where all of the football players who got concussions, they just take them out in nature.
Don't they prescribe, like, actually in Japan, don't they just prescribe like a time in the wilderness and stuff? But
I
for
don't
like
know.
stress and anxiety and stuff.
They used to do that. They
Yeah,
used to be like, if you were really sick, they would send you to the mountains for some cool fresh air.
Now they just give you a pill and you feel better.
Dang it.
Like one of my favorite
America Strikes
movies,
Again.
The Wind Rises. Oh, I won't spoil it, but they send someone to the mountains.
Thank you.
Sophia's just her internal thing of like, I can't spoil it, but I'll give you this. Classic Sophia.
It's very sad.
I feel a rant coming. So now Nancy said that she was angry at me for how I had handled the situation, saying that she knew her neck was fine and for leaving to go wait for the ambulance. She then said that the ranger said he had purposefully sent me away because he thought I was frantic. Apparently, when I got back, he was asking if she felt comfortable with me being there. Okay, so I guess he was like unsure of if it was safe for him to be there.
She was clearly under there was like a lot going on. She maybe broke her neck and he was
Under
probably
duress.
worried.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
And
hey, do you feel
yeah.
comfortable with this guy? The
Yeah.
ranger's trying to get the read of the situation.
Also, she's like clearly hostile towards him. She's
Yeah.
like, F off.
Yes.
It's your fault. So clearly the ranger's like, oh, maybe she doesn't like this guy.
Which is a good thing to
Yeah.
double check, I think. I was honestly feeling humiliated hearing that he had said that. I felt like I had been doing everything I possibly could for the last 2 hours at that point, and she was angry at me for how I handled some difficult spur of the moment decisions. We went to her car, and the next few hours were kind of a blur, but I'll try to explain as best as I can remember. I know I effed up a lot at this point. Do we agree, chat?
Honestly, no.
I don't
I
think
feel like
agree.
OP's not really done anything that bad. Like he was in the bathroom for a while.
Hey,
Maybe going off for 20 minutes, like without saying anything, that's like the most thing.
Bobby says, haha, yeah, right. She is toxic.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm seeing.
I did get a haircut, Nikki. Thank you.
It's a great cut.
Thank you.
It's a great cut. Let's all acknowledge it.
Aw.
Let's all acknowledge it. I encouraged her to go to the hospital because of the nausea, but she didn't want to. I was hungry and tired and stressed out from everything at this point, and understood she had a concussion and had a traumatic experience, and found it increasingly hard to deal with her anger and belief that I had watched her fall on her head or cry out for help and then left her. I knew we were both hungry, and I tried to give her a snack and offered to make food, but for some reason, she took stuff out and started doing it herself. I offered to take over and make something alongside it, but she said she wanted to, and it was enough for the both of us. I didn't have any other food there, and I was really hungry at this point. Here's the point where I might be a huge a-hole.
Yeah. Oh, I thought
You thought I was saying, here's the point where
John Fry.
John Fry, was a huge
yeah, I was
a-hole.
like, okay, tell me.
I didn't spend enough time saying what a great haircut Sophia had. I did not ask
Why are you
more.
focusing so much on the story?
I didn't ask more about the Winds Rising movie and allow a long, illustrious rant of.
John's the a-hole.
Yeah.
If we play back where Sophia said thank you about the haircut, and John was like, yeah, nice haircut, she checked out. She was like,
Wow.
all I
That's
get
it?
is nice cut.
You mean the greatest haircut of all time?
Okay, well now it feels like you're lying to me. Let's just read the story.
Oh. How did I fake a-hole and then become an what is happening? What is that? Are you in cahoots with Nancy? What's going on? Cahoots. Well, at some point she was making lunch. I responded to one of her accusations by saying that I couldn't believe that she believes that I would leave her there hurt.
Dude, wait, time out.
We're on it.
He went to go help.
Yeah.
Like what?
He didn't do good enough.
It really feels like she is the type of person that finds a problem with everything, and that OP's like maybe slight inconsideration at times, or just like not thinking, becomes this huge issue.
Yeah.
Where he is actively inconveniencing or actively hurting her, and she like blows up about it, and he's like, whoa, I'm sorry. And then she's like, well, now I'm mad at you for apologizing. And it's like this ongoing thing where he's like, I don't even know what the right thing to say is.
She's making mountains out of molehills.
Those molehills are humongous.
That's right. I said that I felt like she often forgot all the positive things I do and can only focus on the negative or perceived things that she imagines that I did. She said she didn't feel like she needed to apologize for saying F you earlier because she was emotionally dysregulated at the time. Also, I just got diagnosed with ADHD a few weeks ago, and she was 2 about a year ago, right? That's what you say. Like she was also diagnosed. I said the fact that she said things to me like I just use her to get off, when she has been the one asking me for spicy sleep much more than I have been, and I always make sure she is pleased. She's the one who refused to delete dating apps off her phone.
Oh, okay.
When I realized they were on there, even after I told her I deleted them a month ago.
Girl, she's mistreating you. She's mistreating you, and he's just letting it happen.
Yeah, she's definitely projecting right now.
Or maybe every single thing OP does is wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe
Have
every
we
single move.
considered that OP is just bad at everything?
Like when he breathes, incorrect.
Incorrect.
You got to do it
A
this way.
slight against her.
Come on. Why are you breathing in my direction? Let me have my own oxygen. Boom. I've told her that I really care about her and feel love for her. It hurt me that she even thought that I would watch her get hurt and then not help her. I know she has trauma in her past, which is probably why she thinks that. I said that she couldn't see all the things I was trying to do to show her I cared about her. Lifestyle changes and ways that I've been giving her my energy and made her my focus. I said it was so obvious that she felt this way that even when I had been doing my absolute best to help her, when she was hurt, the ranger still picked up on it and sent me away because it's what he thought she wanted. She didn't. I said that it sounded like she had some huge a-holes in her life before, but I had never had problems like this with anyone, and that I was sick of her making me feel like everything was my fault. I said that if everyone she previously dated had caused her issues, that said more about her than me, and that I wasn't a monster that would leave her there hurt. Real quick.
The Tomlet says, okay, listen, TBI patient here. Sadly, mood swings and personality changes are symptoms, and nausea right after the blow is a sign of possible brain bleed. She needs medical attention ASAP. I do think she needs medical attention. However, I don't know if it's necessarily a mood swing, because it does seem like she was doing this before.
Yeah, like even
she was doing that the whole day.
Like when he had just used the bathroom and she was like, F you. That was before any of this went down. Yeah, I mean, basically what OP described. I mean, so really quick, do you think OP's an a-hole? Reading the line back again, I said that if everyone she previously dated had caused her issues, that said more about her than me, and that I wasn't a monster that would leave her there hurt.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, He is, I believe he is definitely, he's like just telling the truth
I
there.
think so. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but he's the boyfriend that can't do anything right.
Yeah.
He can't. He can't do it. Yeah, I think she's very much exactly what you said, Sophia. She will take anything that he does and just turn it into an issue.
And like, I don't know. I have some thoughts about the boyfriend too. Yeah, I don't know. He seems a little like maybe oblivious of some things.
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, him walking off, like, we don't know. We're just hearing his side of the story. It's like, I have some hearing issues.
Yeah.
I, walked off. There was thick bush. He could have told, the one thing I think for sure that he didn't do was tell her, like, hey, I'm going to go over here and, like, maybe take a walk for 20, 30 minutes. That I think is.
Yeah, that was a problem.
Yeah.
Even if she did say F off.
But
like,
I think
you guys are in nature together.
Yeah.
Even just being like, okay, I'm going to take a walk to clear my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Better to tell her. But I think one could say an honest mistake.
I think so.
An honest mistake. Well, Opie says after this, she said she wanted me to leave the campsite. I talked to my mom for a bit, but reception was terrible and asked her to talk to Nancy. Just have mom. Here you go, mom.
Please,
Deal with it.
Mama, she keep yelling at me.
That's kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah, he's not helping himself.
Yeah.
Not there.
I asked her to talk to her sister, but she said, no, just talk to each other.
Yeah.
I asked if we could have some food and talk about a plan, that we were both hangry and not thinking straight. She said that I couldn't have any more for food and she wanted me to leave.
Damn, now she's withholding food?
Can't have it.
Okay.
It's my food. I didn't have anything with me except some clothes and a phone with a low battery and water bottle.
Okay, well, why didn't you bring a battery pack?
I tried to ask her about her plan and how she could be safe and pointed out that the paramedics had said that she needed to be checked in on over the next 24 hours. That's right. They said like, oh, we need someone trustworthy to monitor her for the next 24 hours. She said that I was harassing her and yelled at me to go away or she would call the police. At that point, I said, okay, and just asked if I could take some food since I was really hungry and didn't have any. And she gave me a banana.
This is a nightmare camping experience.
Dude, right?
Like, don't go camping with people you don't really know, like, what their vibe is.
For real.
Yeah, wait, how long have they been together?
I don't know.
Has it said? Here,
Did
let me
you?
check.
Yeah, check for
But
me.
if you don't know how your partner's gonna act,
recent.
trip. Yeah,
Maybe a month?
a month.
Maybe more than a month. Because he
Been with
said
this girl for a few months.
a few months.
Okay, so she's just showing her true colors.
We started soon after I moved to the country. So he like has moved to a new country and has been with this girl for a few months.
See, this is why I never go camping.
No, you don't go camping because you don't like being sweaty outside.
I don't mind being sweaty outside. I just like having the ability to take a shower after I'm sweaty outside.
They have shower places. They have rivers.
That's not a shower.
that's nature's that's Mother Nature's bath.
Yep.
How could we deny Mother Nature, Sophia?
Fun fact, if you find a waterfall, what is that, John?
Nature shower.
I mean, it would have to be like a really small waterfall because that's a lot of pressure. It would like crush you.
Speaking of waterfalls, maybe we'll see one in a month. Who knows?
Ooh.
Who knows? We don't know. We're planning.
Exciting.
I shouldn't have said that.
Now I'm gonna expect and be disappointed.
Yeah,
when
I know, right?
Better freaking see a waterfall.
I'm a dummy boy. I do dummy
I
stuff.
want 3 waterfalls now.
Calm down, kids. Well, back to the story. Opie said, I said goodbye and that I hope she would be okay and walked to the main gate. I realized that my phone was super low on battery and not charging and my battery bank was empty and I was trying to get an Uber or something like that and it died. So I felt like I had no choice
Oh, dang.
but to go back.
We're the Rangers.
Right? Yeah, call him back.
Yeah. Also, wherever you are are not getting an Uber, my guy.
Yeah. You're like the ambulance could barely come out.
That's true. She asked me to prove that my phone was dead, so I did. She let me plug it into her car for a bit. I was not talking to her and sitting away from her in the car with the phone. I saw her grabbing her paddleboard and going down to the lake.
Girl,
This is not
the time to paddleboard.
I reluctantly followed her, but was worried about her going out with a concussion. I asked her and said I was worried. She didn't have a life jacket. She had a concussion and didn't look or sound herself. The water was still choppy. I'm not the strongest swimmer, and it's a big lake. If something had happened and she had fallen in, I almost certainly wouldn't have been able to stop her.
And she couldn't even get into a hammock.
Yeah, dude.
I don't trust her to be
She
able to
ain't
get into a
definitely getting in the
paddleboard.
water with that thing.
That
Yeah,
is-
choppy water, paddleboarding. That's incredibly
That's
dangerous.
such a good point. That is such a good
Yeah,
point.
she can barely see. It's dark.
I tried to point these things out, and she just said that I was catastrophizing. Is that a word?
I was gonna say claustrophobia.
No,
Or
like making everything like thinking the worst.
making it a
possible.
catastrophe.
Yeah.
Yeah. New word, didn't know that. I acknowledge that I might be. I wasn't a concussion or paddleboarding expert.
Yeah, but the experts came and said, go get checked out.
Yeah. I said if she could call one friend she trusted and they said it was a good idea, I would let her go. Good strategy. She tried calling her ex.
What?
Now friend.
Time out.
Current
oh my
friend.
God.
Time out. No. That's the third red flag I've seen.
That was the first person she called.
And she still has dating apps on her phone?
Can we ask ourselves a question? WWSD. What would say a WWSDD? What would Samuel Donner do?
He would go paddleboarding.
He is friends with many of his exes. He loves to do things like paddleboarding.
It's true.
Maybe he calls one of his exes who's a...
He likes not going to the doctors.
Huh?
He likes not going to the doctors when he's hurt. Well, actually, you know what?
He went with his ankle.
No, he goes to the doctor.
He went to the doctor for
Enough.
his ankle.
Yeah.
I don't go to the doctor.
That's true.
Yeah, stop that.
Well, I don't have to go to the doctor.
Yes, you do.
When's the last time I got sick, guys?
Yeah.
When's the last time I hurt something?
Okay, but you have to go to the doctor like once a year.
Not if you eat an apple another day.
Guys, don't listen to Riley.
This is
PSA.
wrong.
What would Sam do? Yeah, paddleboard.
Right?
He's getting in that water.
Nature's calling. She didn't want to call her sisters or another friend. I felt like if I let her go out, I would be letting her and her loved ones down. She said she didn't care if she went out and passed away.
Oh my
I don't
God.
care.
Why does she want a paddleboard this much?
Dude, that was making her feel that she wanted to pass away. That made me feel like I really couldn't let her go out, and I took the paddle. She threatened to go out without a paddle and started yelling loudly
What's
at me.
she going swimming now?
Dude. I could see a nearby woman was concerned and encouraged her to check on Nancy and said that she has gotten a head injury earlier and I was discouraging her from paddleboarding. I walked away to give them space to talk. It looked like the lady went to Nancy and they talked a little and then she walked away. I went back there and sat next to her paddle and didn't say anything. She seemed to understand that I couldn't let her go out and walked away. I followed her back to the car. I was trying to say that I was really worried about her being safe now, especially after she said she didn't care if she passed away. I felt like I couldn't leave the campsite since the paramedics had asked me to keep an eye on her, and her behavior didn't seem normal at all. I mean, is it just the rose-tinted glasses?
Yeah.
Being taken away. Like you said, it's like, oh, they've reached that point. They're a few months into the relationship.
Yeah, it's like you reached like the 4 month mark.
3 month mark.
Yeah.
You're starting to see their actual true colors.
You
Ooh.
can't have those colors forever, my friend. Huh? Yeah, I can. Sorry, I sit up like good boy. So I said that I felt like I needed to stay and record the conversation when I did and brought up the paddleboarding stuff and the fact that she thought that she was going to pass away. I recorded her saying that she would call the police and tell them that I stole her paddleboard and me saying that I hadn't and that I, of course, was going to give it back, but it didn't seem safe at the moment. Oh my God. She's
Making
using
stuff
him
up.
taking the paddleboard thing temporarily.
For her
as,
safety.
you're stealing, you're robbing me, Dude, Nancy's a freaking Karen.
She is.
She's Karening hard freaking Karen
so
core.
hard.
I felt like I needed to protect myself legally if she did do that, but also felt like it would be irresponsible to leave her there without even telling anyone. Poor dude. OP's just in between a rock and a hard place
Yeah,
here. I feel
like,
for him.
I don't want her to pass away, but also she's trying to get me arrested.
I hadn't eaten anything in 8 hours at this point.
Get a banana.
Sophia, true.
That
Sophia would just be, you'd be passed out.
I'd be passed out.
Right?
I would be passed out. Yeah.
We'd have to call the ambulance for Sophia at this point.
Yeah.
Even worse, she'd be grumpy.
I would be
Whoa.
so mad.
Whoa. And she was still refusing to share food. So I said that I was going to give her space, but that I was going to eat some of the food. I took the pot and she tried to grab it back, but I moved away. I went and saw her go down to her paddleboard and pack it up. I thought she was going to say, take it out of the water. I didn't know what she was doing, but I was talking to my parents for advice. Then I saw her drive away.
Now she just left him?
What?
In the woods?
And she's driving with a concussion.
Oh, Lord.
As far as I know, this is unsafe. The paramedics had indicated that I should take her to the hospital if she needed to. I hadn't researched it, but have since, and it seems to agree that it's very unsafe. Let me wet my whistle.
What's your whistle?
They strongly encouraged me to call the police, which I obviously didn't want to do, but they were talking about the fact that she said she doesn't care if she lives or not, and the fact that she had this concussion, the fact that none of us were experts, and what happened if something did happen. I listened to their advice, and the police said they would just do a wellness check on her and that she wouldn't be in trouble, and they would call an ambulance if they needed it. That seems pretty good. A wellness check, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And it seems like he's calling, like, not whatever the 911 is, like, hey, here's the situation. What do you think we should do? That's like a good
just
approach.
checking in.
Yeah, because it's like you're not sure, right?
Yeah.
100%. They asked the campsite we had been staying at and her home address. I messaged her before I called them, saying it felt like I needed to. I was worried about her and the other people on the road. She saw this message and didn't respond. Left on red. Ouch. And then after I called, reassuring her that she wouldn't get in trouble, that I loved her and was just worried about her.
Opie's trying
He
really hard.
Yeah, like I really think that not only can you not fault OP, because it's like in these like these are kind of like
Big,
in the moment.
Yeah, hard things to deal with and to know how to react to.
Yeah, and I feel like OP has done
The best he could do at
the
least.
best he could do, and pretty much the right thing at every turn.
Yeah.
Kimberly Fine says, take her to Amber Heard and let them just frame each other like a feuding summer camp rivalry where they just take turns getting revenge in the cover of the night. True.
Very specific.
Very specific. After that, I realized I needed to try to look out for myself. Dark, I didn't have shelter or water, and my phone was almost dead. OP is against Mother Nature.
Man versus nature right here.
Yeah. What is it? What is it? You're facing, there's like a saying.
What?
Facing the elements.
Facing
the elements.
Yeah.
Against the elements.
I had food that I had taken. I was only going to have some of it and said so when I took it. Thief!
Yeah.
Arrest him, officer! Oh, what if the reason she didn't respond is because she's like, perfect, I'll tell the police that you stole from me my paddleboard and food and have you arrested.
Yeah, and then he's going to be, hey, she got a concussion.
And then she left me in the woods alone.
And then, but this is going to be a bad time, because then she'd be like, oh yeah, he's high. And then, because he had the devil's lettuce a few days ago.
Dang.
Oh,
She's
this
gonna
could be
take this man down.
this could be so
Find the
bad.
ranger.
The ranger, come back! I tried getting an Uber or a taxi, but was in the middle of nowhere and no one wanted the job, and reception was still making things really difficult. At some point, a few hours later, I saw Nancy turn back into the campsite and drive past me. Not sure if she saw me. She messaged asking what I had done and the things I had stolen, meaning the paddle and the pot of food. I said they were down at the road with me. She could get them now or I could leave them with the police. She didn't respond. About half an hour later, I realized that my phone was going to die and I wasn't getting out that night, and messaged her saying that I was on 4% battery and that I couldn't get out of the campground, and to please let me know if she was there, and that I was going to be by the lake for a bit and then lock myself in the bathroom for the night.
Where is the ranger?
Yeah.
Go find the ranger.
They went home.
Is there like no one on site though?
Yeah, if it's a
No.
campground, isn't there
Gotta
anyone
be
there?
one person.
They lock it up at night. They like, all right. No one
but
can come in and
for
out.
an
like-
overnight campground?
I don't know. I feel like they're like OP keeps seeing people throughout the day. There's gotta be like it wasn't night the whole time. You gotta go find some people, man.
Yeah. She replied that I could have her tent if I didn't say a word to her. You gotta shut your lips to earn this. I asked her if I could also charge my phone, please. This was on Instagram. She sent me other messages on WhatsApp that I didn't see until the next day, sharing her location and saying that I could have her tent, but that if I harassed her, she would call the police and let the whole campsite know.
Why are we threatening here?
Call the police, please. Please call the police. Call someone.
She's starving me and I can't get home.
He stole my paddle. Lock him up. I didn't see those messages then. I went down to the lake and my phone died, and I wandered around the campsite until I found her sitting next to her car. I gave her her paddle, put the food in the picnic basket. She packed up her stuff and gave me the tent. She had her air mattress set up in her car. She often sleeps like this. I said thank you and asked if I could also charge my phone, please. I felt completely helpless. Didn't even have a flashlight to set up the tent. Without it, the tent wasn't even set up. Oh, dude, this is terrible.
What? Okay.
I also would not put your phone in the car, because she could just drive away with your phone in the car.
Also, I feel like, okay, maybe she says no to this, but maybe you just say, hey, please drive me out of here, and then you can drop me off at the police station.
There we go.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
Just drive me to a location where I can
Reception,
get back myself.
and then we can part ways. Just don't strand me at the campground.
Yeah. But he did steal her paddle. And her food.
Oh
Maybe
my
not.
gosh.
Okay, new plan. You take the paddle.
Mm-hmm.
You get into the river.
Ooh.
You paddle out of the campground
Nah,
until you
nah.
reach people.
This is the plan. You take the paddle, you hit her in the head with it. Her concussion got worse, and you drive her to the hospital.
Steal her gun.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm gonna be doing.
Or just like take her car and then drive her to the hospital
Well,
and be like,
she refuses.
Well, she refuses, so you have to hit her in the head with
You
the
gotta hit her.
paddle board.
no,
You
we just
gotta
put her in
hit
the
her.
car, child lock, boom.
No, you gotta hit. You gotta.
But
That
she's in the
concussion
Stop
gets
it,
worse,
Riley.
man.
Stop it. So I felt completely helpless, didn't even have a flashlight to set up the tent without it, and I was just done at this point. She said no. I said, please, please. And she told me to F off. Classic. And go ask someone else. Then her phone was ringing and she asked why her flatmate was calling. I realized the police must have gone around there and said that they had asked for her address and reminded her of the wellness check. Because remember, he had asked for the wellness check. They haven't come over yet. I went and asked someone and was able to get some charge. And luckily, their battery bank also had a flashlight so I could also set up the tent. At this point, I ate half the food in the pot and knocked on the window to show that half of the food was still there. Opie's like, look, I'm not
eating all
He's showing the
food.
receipts. You got to commend him. And put it on the roof of the car. I then pulled the picnic blanket into the tent, wrapped myself up, and was getting ready to sleep. I heard a car outside and footsteps and thought it was the ranger. But then I heard talking and Nancy said my name and then someone said, OP. I said, hello, and opened the tent to 2 cops. I came out of the tent and then asked why they were there. I said earlier Nancy had fallen out of the hammock and got a concussion, not really knowing where to begin and feeling horrible at this point. They said they didn't care about earlier. Why are they here now? I tried to explain why I called them about the argument and the paddleboarding thing and driving away, and that I was just worried for Nancy's safety and unsure of the right thing to do and was really sorry if I had wasted their time. They asked if there had been any physical altercation, and I said no. They asked if I was worried for my safety, and I said no. They told me to stand by and then went and talked to Nancy.
OP should have said, yeah, she stranded me multiple times and she
Yeah.
refused to give me food. Like, that's your safety.
Yeah, I feel like
Bro's not smart. Let's just be for real.
yeah,
Bro is
yeah.
not-
Like he can tell them like more of it. He's just like,
Yeah.
oh well, he's not checking the boxes that they're giving him. But it's like, look, guys, she stranded me, she abandoned me. Whitney Anderson says she's about to get him
Yeah, she's going to be like,
arrested.
he stole my paddleboard.
He stole my paddleboard. He won't stop harassing me. He's following me everywhere. He's high.
Yeah.
It's about to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
They told me to stand by and went to talk to Nancy. They talked to her for a while and an ambulance came to check on her. Now, I had not asked for an ambulance to be called.
Because police called them.
I sat there with my hands in front of me, unsure of what was about to happen. It felt pretty awful feeling everyone's eyes on me in the campground. After a bit, one of the cops came back, said there wasn't an issue, and that I should sleep it off, talk to Nancy in the morning, and might have to part ways. I thanked him and climbed back into the tent, not even looking at Nancy.
Oh my God. Don't leave.
Yeah. Get a ride back home.
Yeah, get a ride back.
Get a ride back.
Dude, what are we
Why
talking
are we
about?
staying in the
Yeah,
tent?
this is
Because guess what we're about to do tomorrow?
Oh my God, the same thing.
Run it back, baby. Run it
Running
back.
the same thing back.
The paramedics and cops left, and I was almost passing out at this point. I heard Nancy's alarm go off a few times and remember covering my ears and heard her walking around at some points, but I don't remember falling asleep. I woke up just before 6 in the morning, and when I went outside, her car wasn't there.
OP, use your head.
Who could have seen this coming?
OP.
Nobody.
All you had to do was just get a ride back.
And then you could have taken an Uber and gone home.
Well, check out this next part, okay? You might eat your words. She had left behind the pot of food untouched.
Oh, at least
And
he
her
has
trash bag.
food.
We have food and trash. What more do we need? If we're Bear Grylsing it, we're good to go. I messaged her. I'm going to leave the campsite soon.
How?
We don't know. I will leave the tent next to your pot and your trash. Hope you're safe. Please understand that I called the police yesterday because I was worried about your safety. I'm not sure she thinks that I called the police or the second ambulance to the campsite in the evening, and that's why I was really keen to charge my phone. And then, asked about half an hour later if she was safe. I was getting increasingly worried about her driving after the police visit last night with a concussion in the middle of the night.
Again, why did the police just let her have her keys? Who's to say? They know that she has a concussion and they were like, yeah, she can drive.
Also, he heard her alarm go off multiple times and her walking around, and I understand he may have passed out, but how did he not hear the car drive away?
Good question.
Yeah, or realize, put 2 and 2 together, like, oh, she's packing to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know he doesn't have like good hearing, he said earlier, but still, like he heard the alarm and heard
Yeah.
that. Like,
Probably
this
would've
guy's
heard
not
that.
thinking.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. This hurts me reading this at this point.
It seems not great. Speaking of hurting reading it, Sophia, could you close out
Sure.
the story? Would you do me the honors? It's on I Tried.
I sure
We're
can.
gonna switch it up, ladies and gentlemen.
I tried calling her at 7 and she saw my message and then blocked me on everything. I was just happy to know that she was okay. Her flatmate had messaged me hello around the time of the police visit when they were calling from her house around 10 p.m. I replied the next morning, "Hey Sandra. Hey Sandra, so sorry about everything. Nancy fell out of her hammock yesterday and got a concussion. I thought she was acting unusually after that, but she didn't want to go to the hospital. She said some things that seemed to indicate that she didn't seem to have much regard for her well-being, and she drove away, and I was worried about her safety, so I called the police for a wellness check and they asked for her address. They said she wouldn't be in trouble and just checked on her wellness and calling an ambulance if she needed it. I messaged her to tell her this. I'm not sure what changed, but she came back to the campsite a few hours later and was going to sleep in her car, and I slept in her tent. The police and ambulance both came to check at the campsite last night. When I woke up, she wasn't here, so hopefully she got in last night or will in a few hours. I haven't been able to get in touch with her. I'm sorry for the difficulties I've caused you and your flat. By the way, you wouldn't be causing us any difficulties if you joined us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch. Just tap our profile.
Tap it.
Nothing difficult about it. And there is a little bit left to the story.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. You know, I think OP is...
I'll start it because OP took a crap.
You know, if only he had just taken some Tums or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like OP's... He's trying to be the best. He's trying to be a good guy. This chick is crazy. And, you know, he should have just said, like, hey, I'm going to pee. I mean, but at the end of the day, like, I think he should have left with the police when they came over. But, like,
That's what I think.
They did say, like, hey, have someone watch her for 24 hours. And it's like, okay, well, if I leave you, then what if your condition worsens or something really, really bad happens? You know, it's like, I don't.
What do you do?
What are we supposed to do here, Sophia?
What do you do?
What's the perfect answer?
I think you say to the police when they say, hey, are you fearful for your safety? You say, she has been acting very weirdly. I think I recommend that she should not be driving, and so did the paramedics, if there's any way to take away her car keys and you guys drive her back or something. And you say, I am fearful that she'll leave me out here again, which she has already done.
She lied and said that she wasn't nauseous when that was something on the form that said, hey, go immediately to the emergency room for this specific thing.
You bring up all the things. You say, I think she'll strand me out here. I would like someone to check in on her, and I would like to be driven home. And then you just leave it at that.
The good plan.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Well, let's plan to finish this out.
Oh, let's get it.
And let's execute that plan. He responded, okay, better not see you around here, pal. What?
He was talking to the run it back a little bit just to get some context.
This was
so
I think it was the roommate.
OP sent Sandra, or I guess now his name is
Samda.
Like, hey, by the way, this is what happened.
Yeah, and he was like, all right, better not see you around here, pal.
Dude, conspiracy theory. This friend and flatmate is the ex.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, also, I think it was Michelle Eveline earlier said the ex got her into paddleboarding, and that's why she's so obsessed with it.
Oh, J Rose says you cannot control another person. He did everything within reason in his power. Time to wash his hands of that demon. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, like, he can't do anything to make her do anything, but I think he could have been a little bit more
smart.
Could have just told the police a little bit more and got himself out of that situation.
Totally.
He was being very caring and watching out for OP, but he needed to watch out for himself.
You need to watch out for yourself. I said, don't worry, I still have her tent, which I was going to put on the other side of your fence, but can leave it somewhere else if you'd rather I didn't. You won't see me again, and I won't contact Nancy. I'm sorry if the police visit caused any problems or ruined your weekend, and for anything else. He responded, we'll see about the tent, champ. And I liked the message. Haven't heard anything since. That was 2.5 days ago. I managed to hitchhike back to town. I managed to lose one of the tent poles and had to leave the picnic blanket as it was too bulky to hitchhike with on the way back. But I've ordered a replacement pole and blanket of the same brand. I probably won't replace the pot. I feel like I gave that back to her and don't understand why she didn't take it with her. Anyway, that's what happened from my perspective. I've tried to be as honest and detailed as I could, feeling pretty terrible about it today and was holding out on seeing my therapist today, but woke up sniffly and coughing, so I had to cancel. Yeah, because you stayed out all night.
Yeah,
Covered up with a tent blanket or like a picnic blanket.
Yeah.
That's all you had during the night.
Really not sure how to deal with this or process this. I feel like I would change a lot of things I did in hindsight, but also was doing my best with a difficult situation and was trying my best to look out for Nancy to the best of my abilities. Am I a huge a-hole? Be straight with me. I'm still in love with her. Oof. My brother got a concussion earlier this year and his personality was quite different for a month afterwards.
Oh, so he's seeing like, oh, she'll change after a month.
She'll be fine.
She'll
In a
come back
month, she'll
around.
I can
back.
fix her.
You're not the a-hole.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Agreed.
a little bit
Not the
stupid.
a-hole.
I think he is a little bit of an
I
a-hole.
think he's a little bit
To himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not like figuring it out. I
Yeah.
think he's just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little stupid.
A little stupid.
A little bit.
Bobby
Little
says,
stupid.
is the flatmate from the 1940s? Yeah, he's like, oh, you messed with the wrong household, pal. You
Listen
wanna go
here,
toe-to-toe?
Sonny.
Let's go outside, and I'll give you a what for. Bop, bop.
We don't do that around these parts, sonny boy.
Wait, there's one comment. Someone said he's a helpless pothead, and OP replies, sounds like you have a bit of a bias against people who use cannabis you might want to examine. Believe it or not, I'm pretty independent and successful in my life generally. Most medical cannabis patients are.
Ah.
Yeah, so people are like, oh, he's a pothead, but he's like, no.
Yeah, no, that's not really.
I thought it was funny. People were
No,
like,
no,
you're
that
dumb.
that is funny that everyone's getting after him on there, because I feel like that's not really relevant to his silliness.
Also, Whitney Anderson said, did OP get a concussion? Because it's like, brother,
Yeah, come
man.
Let's
Yeah,
wake
but
up.
he's not the a-hole.
No.
She's the a-hole.
Yes.
He did his absolute best,
Sure.
and she was just bananas.
Yeah.
And
there we
have
she
it.
And there we have it. That's a wrap up from the OK Raps guy.
Thanks, Sophia.
And that was John from OK Raps giving us another wrap up. But we'll talk to you next time.
And live from OK Studios, if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.